Hi everyone, this is Lori with 3 Keys Astrology, and this is your weekly forecast for Sunday, March 30th through Saturday, April the 5th. Last week I spent 3 days preparing for you your April monthly horoscopes, April 2025 for all signs. And I did it because I'm debuting a customized reading that I'm offering for all of you that you can find along with my other services at www.3keysastrology.com. And that is a written report for every month, costs $100 a month, sent to your email address. So it's delivered right to your inbox. That's a customized reading according to your birth chart. So it'll show the energies of April in 2025, and then May, and then June, and then July. Each month is $100 because I'm analyzing our transit energies against what's going on with your personal birth chart, your own personal horoscope. So please check those out, and thank you so much for all the nice comments. I really love this work, and so many of you really touch my heart. It's so hard to believe that we can have connections like this with the internet. It's amazing. And don't forget, if you're not a member of my private Facebook group, Facebook 3 Keys Astrology, you're welcome to join us. I gift every single person a free mini reading who joins my work. And for all of you that are looking at the April horoscopes for each and every sign, I'm offering your Sabian symbol. So if you put the degree of your sun, moon, or rising sign in the comments below, I'm telling you what your Sabian symbol is. I hope you'll check those out. And if you're new to the channel and you're saying, well, how do I find out what my degree is? Where my son's degree is? Come on over to our private Facebook group. I'll give you the mini reading and I'll tell you then what it is. So take care, everyone. And let's get on with this weekly horoscope. Because April gives you the overview for each and every sign, you may want to listen to the weeklies and then bounce that against your own monthly horoscope. But better detail and clear, clean English is the translation of the stars sent to your email and right to your inbox. And that's $100 is nothing today for the analysis that we do. So then, today, Sunday, the 30th of March, was a little bit of a tricky day and kind of a difficult day, to be frank. We just had our solar eclipse at 4:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. And eclipses bring crazy, strange weather. The lights of our galaxy, our planet, are occluded. This time it was the sun. And it was in Aries at 9 degrees of Aries. And I made a video for that for you. So you can find that out if you missed it or you're wondering why you're feeling probably under the weather, probably a little bit tense, likely overtired. The energies have been really strong, and our planet is going through major, major changes, and that's reflected in our political, the changes that are going on politically in our country and yours, because the earth is undergoing a major revolution. Right now, we still have super strong fire energy and lots of water energy still yet. And that's causing a lot of the wildfires are responsible for all this fire energy and the dryness in these climates. And sadly, so many people are losing their homes. And I asked when I did the solar eclipse video, if you have a specialty, or maybe you're retired, or you have some kind of abundance in life, and may only be in training. Homelessness is such a sad and serious dilemma to be in. each and every human being on this planet needs a home and deserves a home. And you know that we're thin-skinned creatures who are affected by weather. We need homes. And it doesn't matter how much you have or how little you have. Every one of us is vulnerable in that sense, that we need shelter and protection. So I hope you open your hearts and your pocketbooks and offer your skills where you may, because ravaged by fire, ravaged by war, ravaged by flooding, a lot of people have suffered and are suffering. And the bad weathers and crazy energy from the solar eclipse, because March put us between two eclipses, first a lunar, then a solar. I love meteorology. It would be my secret other job. Comment below and tell me what your secret other job would be if you had one. But we astrologers, meteorologists, learn absolutely about planetary energy and changes in the climate. And so the week ahead is it's a hard week. There's going to be some ups and downs this week because people aren't really feeling all that well, number one. Number two, we just had two eclipses, one to our sun, one to our moon, and it's quite emotional. And on top of that, you'll see when you do the April forecast, Mars has been a little bit of a pain in the ass, to be frank, in his debilitated state. Excuse me, please. Mars in the fall went into Cancer, a place it doesn't belong. Mars is fire. It does not belong in water. When you're born with these, you'll have some kind of passive-aggressive tactic and persuasion about you, which is not forthcoming. And so therein lies manipulation and deception. And when Mars stays in a planet for a really long time, we've got major trends and changes going on that are not so sweet with Mars in Cancer. And that's been going on. Unfortunately, by the 19th of April, that's going to be in a direct opposition for the third time to Pluto. And that's really hard. So we're between the energy of a solar eclipse, a lot of change, which people are never comfortable with most of the time. People resist it, though it is the story of life. And then on top of that, this buildup of Mars getting closer to Pluto, which is downright war. And it's dangerous energy. And also the propensity with fire and water are a lot of, and Pluto and Aquarius, we're breathing in a lot of junk, you guys. There's a lot of viral stuff out there. There's a lot of bacterial stuff out there. And all the smoke. You know, if you ever go look at like world news and you see weather patterns, Sky News does a really good job of popping into all the countries. That weather pattern, those winds eventually get to our friends in other countries. And when you're living in a state or country that is ravaged by fires, smoke floats in the air, and that's Pluto. Airborne ills and airborne contaminants and contagions. So it's okay that if you're not feeling up to it, you've got plenty of reason. If you're feeling a little under the weather, and if you're feeling angry, you've got every right to. On Sunday, we've got our moon is in Aries, and that's a hot moon, first of all, to start off with. And that's in a square to Mars in Cancer. And so that is one of the party in the angry conflict is hot and bothered by somebody who is being passive-aggressive or being manipulative or playing drama games or going behind people's back. Who's feeling it most? Mothers in general, the public in general, because Cancer rules the public and the moon is the public, and all we have to do is turn our news on if we want to rise our blood pressures, because people feel so helpless about the manipulation that goes on in the government. And we're all watching just how dirty it really is with this wonderful expose thanks to President Trump and his cabinet. So we have Mars in Cancer, still being a saboteur, still being a little bit of a sniper, and the moon is angry in Aries about it, doesn't like it. So if you're experiencing any conflict in your life and any of your 3 keys are in Aries or you have a stellium there, you could be pretty peeved about someone who is not being forthright and forthcoming. And it can be the same old story when it's the moon involved. And that gets tiring after time, and it's highly frustrating. That's going on today, but we do have the moon in a conjunction to Chiron. And it can be like touching the hot burner and getting burned. So there are some of you out there that are Aries, are getting your first time hurt feelings in a relationship or having some kind of a hot mess going on. But that conjunction can almost also infer healing. And I hope you're having that. The other weird thing about, we've got this fire and water dilemma still strong throughout the month, but very strong today. Neptune, which in mythology, he's the king of the waters of the world. And Neptune is a water planet. It's the modern day ruler of Pisces, and it's moving into Aries today. And that is a water planet going into a fire sign again. Again, conflict here. Those two energies don't match. And Neptune can be disillusion or illusion, or someone that's playing the magician or the big pretender. Aries doesn't like that. One of the things I absolutely love about Aries is how straightforward they are. And they're forthcoming. And Aries speaks their mind. And sometimes they can be sharp. All the fire signs can. But Aries doesn't have a whole lot of time for people's nonsense. And Neptune can be that fickle or that unsure or that indecisive, or somebody who's downright on purpose, being a mischief maker by by hiding behind some kind of disguise. So where that comes from is it's sort of an emotional need. If you can kind of look at it like the fascination, because Neptune is fascination, and it's attraction, and it is charisma, and it's magical because there's something alluring, just like we are drawn to the water. We're almost hypnotized, aren't we? We're mesmerized by the stars and the sky and the sea and water. The depths of the waters are like that. So King Neptune rules this body that we absolutely need to sustain life. So it's something that we need, and yet that same water has a potential to kill us because of the power. It is the most powerful force on earth, water. It can lift cars. It can wash away buildings. And it's one of the elements, one of the mystical, magical elements that God gives man to use, but we can't ever hold. And so the ruler of water has that effect on human beings. We feel buoyant in it. It cleanses us. We baptize our babies with it. We can't survive without water. Our bodies are made of 98% water. And yet Neptune's depths are things we can't quite see that clearly. And we can think about ocean life. They're mysterious creatures. We don't really know where they live or what do they do in their little houses under the sea. And we have these wonderful stories of seahorses and mermaids, and some of us, especially we water signs, crave the tranquility and peace, and even are moved deeply by storms. Comment below if you're like me. I love a storm. I can feel a storm coming even when I'm indoors. And I enjoy the electricity of storms. I'm crazy about the water. That's where I'd rather be. So comment below and let me see. But you can see the conflict of how the ruler of waters, is now in Aries, which is pure fire. Aries is like the little spark of a flame. Leo is the warm fireplace that holds you and keeps you warm. The middle flame that's kind of medium sized. Aries, that little spark, that insight, to the little spark or the match light that you get the fire started. And then Sagittarius is like a blaze that burns down the unnecessary because it's holy fire. It's brilliant, it's big, it's bold. But so does Neptune have a place there? Not really. And water puts out fire. And those two elements just don't make it. And so today on Sunday, with Neptune moving into Aries, where he'll stay until the fall, then he goes back to Pisces again, which is where he's home. He rules the waters of the world, so it'll be a little bit more comfortable. But then he's going to come back and stay again in Aries for quite a long time. And so that's going to be a little bit difficult for people that are Aries. And for those of us that are Cancer, Capricorn, and Libra, it'll be next difficult for us, because those signs want to get things going and get things done. We don't love indecision. And while Libra is a deliberator, still yet, Libra is what law is, rules the law. So there has to be some kind of conclusion or consequences. And Neptune's not going to tell you. Neptune, just like we can't see through the depths of the water, has its mystery. You can't quite see it. You can't quite touch it. You don't quite know what you're getting, but you know you want it. You feel like you need it. It's in those characters that charm us, that are very alluring or charming or mystical. It's music. Again, it's something we need, something that soothes us, something that affects us, but we can't see it, we can't hold it, we can't touch it, it's not tangible. And so a lot of you can be feeling even a little foggy, or a little like you're sleepwalking through life, and what am I supposed to be doing here anyway? What is this all about? What is it? Is this all a big illusion? Neptune also rules dementia, and it is amnesia. And the doctors of our medical field that are Neptune are the anesthesiologists, because they take us from one state to another. And you can say that when you get in the water or the elements. If you sit by a fire, the magic of that somehow changes you and calms you and has a meditative effect. The same thing with water, especially if you like to swim or sail or ski. In it, on it, with it, dive into it, jump off a high board or a cliff into it. It's really something quite mystical. We don't get to take it home. We have to have that experience with it. And we're not sure why it's so wonderful and magical and mysterious. And so you can be feeling a little wonky and a little bit disillusioned and a little bit out of sorts. At 4 o'clock on Sunday, Eastern Standard Time, the moon will leave Aries. Those fights will be over, if you did have one. Would mostly be the Arians and the Cancerians that are not seeing eye to eye. Unfortunately, that's family too, besides public. And then the moon is going to go into Taurus. And the moon is exalted here, so this is a little bit easier and a little bit nicer. But don't you know, the early degrees of the moon on her course come colliding into Pluto. Now, I personally am a double Taurus, which means my sun and my moon are going to be squaring Pluto for about the next 3 years. And they're going to take turns, so I got some more deals to go through for the next 6 years. And as your astrologer, I can talk to you about all of that when we meet together on Zoom and discuss your personal readings. If you're Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, or Aquarius, you really need to sit down with a one-on-one with your favorite astrologer. I hope it's me, because Pluto's going to be here for 30 years, and it means major life changes. So, unfortunately, for little me, and those of you that are born in late April or early May, we're feeling this, and we're going to feel it Sunday night. The moon squaring Pluto is not comfortable at all, and it's kind of a dance with the devil if you want, and it can be something in your home. It could indeed be plumbing problems in your home or plumbing problems in your body. Taurus and Aquarius are having this ordeal with each other. So your relatives that are Taurus and maybe you're Aquarius, just not quite getting along that well right now. And I hope you do your best to have a peaceful overnight. I guess our lessons with Pluto and Aquarius is a great communicator. It's one of the air signs. And having Pluto there means we're going to undergo major transformations in the way we communicate and how we relate. And we're going to go through major changes in air. And unfortunately, we're having a ton of plane crashes, which breaks my heart. I told you back in November 20, and in my weekly forecast, I hate to say this because I know people who have to fly for a living, but there have been a lot of air disasters because Pluto rules death and helicopter air and airborne ills. So if you're a Taurus, a Leo, an Aquarius, or a Scorpio, you have to be really, really careful. And I can give you the timing on how long this intercourse between the sun and Pluto and the moon and Pluto, any of your personal planets with Pluto, I can tell you how long it'll last, when it'll start, when it's over. But I would say that we're all, actually you can see some of this going on in the quote-unquote airwaves. So many of us, I know my generation, and I'm older than a lot of you that listen, in my day, when we watched the television news, because that was our avenue, our grandparents went from having to listen to a radio to the invention of television. When we watched the news, a newscaster would come on board, and because of the integrity of journalism, they would state the facts, tell the where, the what, the why, the when, the how, and the who. And then we started to really get involved with communications at the advent of the internet in 1995. And then now we could be connected in an instant with anybody anywhere in the world. And now we really enjoyed what other people were talking about that was different than our own home. So our little curious Mercuries went haywire and bizarre and out of control. And then instead of the news saying there was a burglary on the corner of 7th and Vine at 9:45 p.m. on Wednesday, January 23rd, 2004 at such and such p.m. and Joe Blow and Jack Black and Susie Orange were the culprits and blah. Instead of that, then it became talk. Then we had talk shows, and then we had talk radio, and my profession here involves communications. But we, the people, a little bit of the airwaves with Pluto, are sick and tired of the spin. And I hope those new stations all crash and burn, frankly. You would think that it was an entirely different story the way one side spins it compared to another side. But one of the nice things that's happening in the transformation that can be Pluto is people are popping up that are only stating the facts and letting the viewer decide instead of it being a persuasion for money. So yeah, it's corrupted and maligned, and we're seeing a little bit of that with Pluto in the airwaves. Now there's not a whole lot going on Monday. So I just want you to take it easy if you can. The moon is in Taurus. That square to Pluto is still happening, so I shouldn't say there's not a whole lot going on. But I want you to really take the time. When the moon is in Taurus, people are feeling, really have a more emotional connection to one another. And because we're all going through so much and there's so many people in need, the moons rule homes. If you have another hour or two to be with yourself alone and quiet on Monday, see how and where you can go serve a purpose. And when we have planets like Pluto crashing in on us, on our sun or our moon or our rising sign, and they're inevitable life changes that we have no control over, we really have to face things we don't want to face and go through things we don't want to go through and try to learn the lessons in it. So if you have any time at all on Monday, March 31st, this is a really good thing to do. And of course, you can always get readings. On Tuesday, April Fool's Day, this is one of the nicest days of the week. We have a lot of harmony. For the earth signs, especially Taurus, the moon is still there. And Taurus is going to be getting along just great with Cancers. Taurus is getting along like they always do with Pisces. Taurus is getting along like she does with her sisters of the earth, Capricorn and Virgo. While it's April Fool's Day, the moon's even going to meet Uranus on her trail through this cycle on Tuesday. So there's so much goodness. The moon with Mars means you can get a lot of things done. It's a great day for you to make improvements around your home. It's a great day for you to make up with family that you're not getting along with. It's a really good day for women in general, the moon and Mars on Tuesday. So girls' professions or girls' groups or girls' activities or just girlfriends hanging out and supporting each other. The moon is also in harmony to Saturn. And again, this is great for getting things done around the home. It's good for gardening. It's good for cleaning up. Those poor people that have been ravaged by the storms, if they're not in one because the weather is not very pretty for the week ahead, it's good cleanup time, and it's good homemaking energy, preparing nice meals, eating together, bonding those covenants that is family or friendships. And then the moon is in a happy harmony with our beautiful Venus that's gracing us all month long. If we can just tap into her energy, hold on to it, and live with it. We have Venus in Pisces for the entire month of April. It is the nicest aspect that's happening all month long. And the North Node is there too, which indicates a lot of power and help toward good relationships, strong bonds. There are some really great days to get married this month, or to propose to the one you love, or to get engaged, or to make vows, or renew vows, or, really show the people how much you care about them that are in your life. And don't treat people disposably. You can't throw people away. That's not what God does. That's not what God wants. And then the moon is in harmony to Mercury, and that's mommies and little ones, and that's daycares and nurseries and play dates and just happy times for little children. This is a really sweet day. Around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4:30 more like, the moon is going to move into Gemini. This entire week, the moon is taking her spring tour from Aries at that eclipse on Saturday all the way through the next Saturday to Cancer. And what are we supposed to do, and what kind of moon things should we be doing? We should be readying our homes up for spring and getting our gardens ready, deciding what trees we're going to prune and flowers and bushes. And it's a good day whenever we have the moon in this fresh spring cycle to really get in touch with nature and family and home and make that home so warm and so cozy. Wednesday, the 2nd of April, is also a really nice day, most especially for Geminis and Aries. Finally, Aries gets a little break. This day, these energies are masculine, and so the men in your life that are doing business will have success, and men and women in work environments will get along well, collaborate well, And actually, we have the moon in a trine now to Pluto, and that's wonderful. And it's in a sextile to Neptune. So some of the fog can be lifted, and we can have a clearing, collaborations, cooperations all day Tuesday and into Wednesday. And I really, really like that. However, here we go with a deep dive and crash. And if you've listened to my April monthly horoscopes, I've told everybody, beware of the 3rd, the 13th, and the 18th. They are not nice days, not nice days at all. But April 1st sure is. April 20th sure is. And because Venus is in Pisces, we can really try to calm down and be more loving, more understanding, more helpful. Try to be solution oriented. But Thursday is really a rough day. A rough day for Gemini and Pisces with each other. A rough day for Gemini and Aries. No, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Gemini and Pisces. And then for Cancers and Aries. And Cancers and Aquarians. So it's a really tough day. There can be a lot of mischief and people saying they're going to do one thing and doing something else. There can be a lot of, you see Gemini is a twin and Pisces is a twin and in conflict with each other. That Pisces person fighting with that Gemini person is like 4 people in the room instead of 2. And indeed, those twin signs are really good at dragging everybody else into the drama. Sadly, we don't like it. Stop doing that, Pisces and Gemini. Stand up for yourself. Get clear about who you are. Try not to be indecisive and try not to float off in different directions. But Thursday, I don't know what you have planned, but I sure want to know. So comment below and tell me if your Thursday got wild and crazy and out of control, what you did to try to calm the storm, or how you weathered it, or what happened. Like, astrology is about real life, guys, so I do want to know. Then we come to April the 4th. And just like we have this sweet Tuesday, Wednesday, and it takes a big dive into the dirt on Thursday, it rises right back up like a little flower that popped out of the soil to make us a happy Friday. I love April 4th. Cancers are going to be happy. Overall, it's a wonderful day for all kinds of stuff, my goodness. Except for a little bit of Cancer and Aquarius edginess. So they were kind of added on Thursday. They might be carrying it on overnight. If you're Aquarius and Cancer married with each other, or have a lot of planets in those signs, that can snowball into your Friday morning. But I think you can make up. Because, boy, do things look sweet. We have unstoppable get things done energy on Friday. And that goes overnight. So those of you working on the night shift still get to enjoy that too. What you want to do, you can get done. So get a list together for the week. Don't expect accomplishments on Thursday, but boy, you can get everything you need to get done on Friday. Also, there is incredible heavenly help for Cancerians and Taurians when it comes to figuring out new ways to get things done. So if you've been in conflict, and you have, I'm a Cancer rising, with your stupid Mars on top of us, making us frustrated, mad, angry, pissed off, you name it, we felt it. And then when Mars came smashing into Pluto, wow, hello, that's a fight. And we've had 3 of those big babies since last November. I'm just going to be honest. I'm human just like you are. I'm spicy like some of you are. And yeah, it's been a challenge. The good news is, for some of what has been driving us nuts, and that we're fighting over the same things, about the same things, and having all-out blasts and atomic crises in families over the same old story, on Friday, April the 4th, there can be a breakthrough, because we have Mars in Cancer in a sextile to Uranus and Taurus. And that is finding a new solution, figuring out a new way, seeing another door to exit instead of being combative. There's some kind of wonderful insight or intuition or even a person coming to teach you how to do better. Then we've got Mars in a trine to Saturn, and that's just cooperation plus collaboration. Want to get along, let's reconcile. How can we fix this? This is wonderful for anybody in the field of repair. So if you're a mechanic, or you're a cosmetic surgeon, or you're trying to make something better than it is, dental work, cosmetic dentistry, this is all really good stuff. Great for builders who are rebuilding all those war-torn areas and fire-scorched, demolished areas and floodwaters. This is excellent for builders. And we need homes. We need them badly. I don't think there are enough of them, and there are a lot of people that don't have a place to call their own and nowhere that they can have privacy. So Friday's sweet energy, like Tuesday's was for Wednesday, echoes again Friday and Saturday. Saturday's pretty sweet, except for a little bit of tension possibly in the morning between Cancer and Aries. That happens around between breakfast and lunch, Eastern Standard Time, so you can adjust it to where you live. But otherwise, this is a precious day. And again, there's harmony in families all over the place. Great for women and children. Great for little boys and their mommies to have play dates or going to baseball practice or whatever mommies and their little sons are doing. This is lots of fun for entire families. Really, really goodness. So get together, plan what you're going to do for Easter, because that's sweet too, until about 9 o'clock at night. So those of you working the night shift, it looks like it's going to be a bit troubled and a little bit difficult thereafter. But this day and Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday are wonderful days. We have the moon, and again, more insight with the moon. Well, first it was Mars and Uranus on Friday. Now it's the moon with Uranus. She's coursing through the sky and getting to those end degrees of that constellation. And then she's going to get ready to go into Leo. And that happens around 6 o'clock at night, Eastern Standard Time. And there's something very lovely. You can have some really sweet dreams on Saturday night. These both days are great days for a date night or a getaway, or if you're going to elope, sneak away. The energy's really good. It'll set the signature for your married couplehood together where the stars are. They never change. You have a date that you're married, and the energy of that date's quite important, and you should consult astrologers before you have those big, big, beautiful dates. And that concludes my forecast. I'll be talking to you more next week when we continue the weeklies with Sunday the 6th that goes through to Saturday the 12th. And I hope you all check out those weekly forecasts I made you. They were long. I was getting tired. Yeah, it was a lot last week. I'm a traumatic brain injury survivor, so it really hurts my eyes and my brain to stare at a screen and analyze and look for hours and hours. And yeah, that was a big, big deal, and I'm pretty tired for it. That's why you have me on audio today. But it's Sunday. I hope you relax. I hope you rest on Monday. Have a good feeling day, a good thinking day, a good emotional day. And if you're Taurus or Leo, because you're opposite that Pluto energy, your moons, especially early ones, you're feeling what I'm feeling. And if you hire me for a consultation, we'll talk about it and get through it together. Because, like I said, I'm in for the double whammy for the next 6 years. First, it's going to hit my moon, and then it's going to hit my sun. So, wow. But I'm sticking around for it, and I hope you do too. You guys take care. Thank you again for being so sweet and sharing these videos with people that you think it might help. And I hope you have good dreams, sweet dates, and that you're in the surroundings of people that truly care about you and make you feel happy. Bye for now.